Hey, what's up? It's LT. I just thought I'd go over really quickly how, over the span of this year and the year of our Lord 2021, that I went from 209 pounds to 169 pounds. If you were to compare the video where I'm eating the hot peanut to this one, I probably have a little more fat on my face because I was like 195 then. So you can see some of that weight loss. I'm just a little tighter over here. You could probably see the ab photos and if I decide to put it on the thumbnail or something, I'm not gonna show you here because this isn't a peep show, and some of you are like dating somebody and they don't want to have to see me and to have to feel like inadequate. So you're not getting any abs. You can see them when I sit down. So, anyways, this, my whole plan was designed to be absolutely simple. I'm all about simple and workable solutions because it wasn't just about looking good for a singular event. Some people want to lose weight for a wedding, a reunion. Some people want to lose weight for a fight. But the best habits in your everyday life, in your everyday situations, are the ones that are going to keep you going in the long term. Because there's going to be a saying that I'm going to come back to later, and that's that you can't outrun a bad diet. All right, so as a disclaimer, you clicked on my face like the Chappelle video. You can't get mad at me for giving you advice. And you know what? If you think that you're being referenced in this video, you probably are, and I'm pointing right at you right now. I'm really bad at looking at the camera and not at me, so I'm pointing directly at you. But yeah, simplicity was the primary philosophy behind this whole thing. So the reason why I started to lose weight was not only because I had a $400 weight loss bet, but I also noticed that a lot of my clothes weren't fitting right, and that I actually thought that my body's skeletal structure had changed a lot over the years. And then I just looked and I was like, no, I just have a gut. And so that sparked me to relearn a lot of things because at first a lot of the stuff that I learned was from 4chan or something. Yeah, it was from 4chan's Fitboard. So shout out to 4chan. If you haven't heard of there, you might want to go there. Lots of good memes on 4chan. So the little Fitboard there. And if you're not learning things all the time, you're going to lose a lot of knowledge. So you have to keep learning, and I wasn't doing that. I was just I lost 100 pounds from the time during the end part of high school and college. So I must know how to do this thing over and over again. Well, the answer was that I knew how to do it a little bit. I lost some of my old habits. I lost some of my old ability to do things. And naturally, as we age, I'm a 33-year-old boomer. I just lost some of my metabolism, which I never had a high metabolism to begin with, but I digress. And also, one of the major reasons which I think everyone should have to do is should take care of themselves and drop some weight is simply because of COVID. COVID, basically excess weight around certain parts of your body, they call it subcutaneous fat, can like wrap around your body and be like a major source of inflammation during like a big disease that like targets inflammation. And that's why a lot of big people, like I was at risk of being, were sent to the hospital. And I was actually in line quicker than a lot of other people to get the vaccine because I was medically obese. And so that was another major reason, just to keep myself healthy and safe. And everyone should do that too. So let's get into the nutrition of what I did. Because like I said, you can't outrun a bad diet. The only time that I would really say, hey, maybe just get on the treadmill a little more is Christmas, because this is a Christmas video. We're celebrating Jesus, the reason for the season right now. And it's like people are gonna be eating a lot. I'm gonna be eating a lot. I'm gonna get the Oreo mousse pie. I'm gonna get Mexican food. I'm gonna mix like a bunch of different drinks together and just have a good time. And that's one of the only times where it's like, yo, you can just try to outrun the bad diet. But anyways, during this time, one of the things I never did was count calories or even count macros, because a lot of that requires you to be in the backdrop of some sort of competing, and I wasn't competing. And there were some things that you could make, like sit me down and try to teach me something like how to play Dungeons and Dragons, but I could never learn how to play that game. I could never learn how to play Magic the Gathering. I couldn't even learn how to do my own health insurance and buy it. So how the hell am I going to learn? How the hell am I going to make myself into a little character and try to level myself up? That's not how it works. And so I did a solution that works for me. I borderline have an eating disorder. So what I did was intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is basically where you have a dedicated feeding window, and you eat a little bit, or you eat a lot during your window, and then you don't eat. Like, you can do 12 hours eating, 12 hours not eating, 16 hours not eating, 8 hours eating, or even 20 hours eating, not eating, 4 hours eating. All sorts of different things, lots of different diets for lots of different people for different reasons. It's just a good time, and a lot of people love it. We all talk about how we're not eating, and it's great. And you can eat a lot, some of the stuff that you really want to, and your body just takes differently, because basically after 12 hours of not eating, your body is just going to burn fat really well. And if you do something like do some cardio while you're not burning, while you're like burning more fat, it's just gonna melt off. So the way you can start, because you might be like me saying, hey, this is really hard. I can't go like 2 hours without having a little something, you know? I might eat some peanuts, then I might eat some yogurt, then I might have some rice and beans, and then I'm gonna eat some fruit, then a salad, then an apple. And that you just started eating all that at 3, and now it's midnight, and then you're chowing down on some oatmeal. I'm just gonna tell you that a lot of that isn't you. It's sugar tax talking, and intermittent fasting will help regulate that. Now, some of you might be saying, yeah, but I have to eat this amount of food or else every so often I'm gonna die. Well, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not gonna call you weak for not trying intermittent fasting if you know you're gonna die, so just keep doing you. maybe this stuff later on will help you, or maybe some of the food I'm going to mention will help you. But anyways, that's what I did. I did intermittent fasting, and I used an app called Fastic to intermittent fast. It's a really good app, and you can use it to time your apps and your fasts. And if people are like watching you fast, then are like on there, and your buddies can like actually see when you start fasting, and they might get a notification. Like at the end of this, one of my friends actually told me that every so often they would get a notification that I was fasting, and that it was like really cool and inspirational, and Chariots of Fire was playing. So yeah, get Fastic. And there are a few axioms that I've had like during this whole thing. Most of the time, I am not drinking massive amounts of calories unless it's like alcohol or protein shake. Like, stop drinking so much juice, stop drinking so much diet soda, because all that's just going to spike your sugar levels, and you're just going to come back and be hungry. And I know this is hard because it's hard for me, but you're going to want to kill energy drinks. Like, if you're doing too many energy drinks, the energy drinks are just going to fill you with sugar, even if they're sugar-free, because it's like mock sugar. It's phantom sugar, and it's just going to keep making you hungry. So, kill the energy drinks. As far as it goes, the alternative, and it's not going to sound as appetizing, not going to sound very appetizing, but you get pretty used to it, is just black coffee. The way I do it is I take my black coffee with salt. Like, your body will just gravitate towards it, because with intermittent fasting, you actually do need to consume more salt than you would otherwise. So yeah, highly recommend that. So there are some drinks that I like to have that some of these violate the fast, so I don't have them during the window, and some of them don't. So one drink, and the coffee with salt, most coffee won't violate a fast. So one thing I like to have is a seltzer with lemon juice, lime, Himalayan pink salt, and apple cider vinegar. It sounds bougie, but it's not. You can get all this stuff at like Ocean State Job Lot or even Dollar Tree or something. It's for poor people, and I know some of you make a lot of money and you want to pretend to be poor, and that's one way you can do it is to just have that drink of seltzer, lemon juice, lime, salt, and apple cider vinegar. It's going to satiate you. It's going to kill like your stomach grumbling, and then it's going to let your stomach do its thing. It's going to make your gut stronger too. So believe me, it's the good stuff. Another thing that I do have, in case I've gotten less than 6 hours of sleep, is an energy drink alternative, which the way I do this is I combine either seltzer or water, and I take a red energy spritz or like a green energy spritz or something, like a Gatorade Mio or something, or like Great Value with caffeine and some wheatgrass and some spirulina. Now you might be saying that sounds disgusting. You sound really weird talking about eating grass, but believe me, with like the red energy spritz, it tastes like juice and it's really good, and you feel really energized after you drink it. So I really highly recommend you get that stuff. Now, you're gonna have to order the wheatgrass and the spirulina from like the internet or something. So look it up. Yeah, if you haven't gone on the internet, like have you ever heard of Amazon? You can go there and get it. Just type in Amazon.com. It's a new upcoming company where you can order things and they bring it to your house. So as far as protein shakes go, I kind of shied away from protein powder and protein bars because a lot of those might, especially protein bars, spike your sugar and just make you hungry. Like I could eat 800 calories, 1,000 calories, like 3 protein bars at once, and then be hungry in 3 hours. So maybe shy away from having a lot of protein bars unless it's like one of those really good ones. Like there's a new Christmas like protein cookie. You can try that, I guess. Links won't be in the description. But anyways, as far as like a protein shake that you could do that I like is you can take some Ovaltine, some milk, peanut butter powder, and your favorite protein shake and add some ice and make it a shake. It tastes really, 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 really good. You can also do some crazy recipes like if you get some baking powder, some xanthan gum, and a bunch of other stuff. I'll leave you to find out how. You can actually make ice cream out of that, and you can get a lot of ice cream, and it's pretty low calorie. Like, another thing you're going to want is some green tea. I take my green tea, nothing in it. If you have to start out with sweetened tea, I understand. Just drink your gallon of sweet tea, like if you're from the South or something. But then eventually just move on to the green tea for me because that's just going to be a lot better for you than drinking the sweetened tea. I'm not about like trying to destroy the South unlike some people I know who really hate the South. All right. As far as it goes with food, one thing I really, really recommend is you just get a ton of greens, like a ton of greens. Like fill the whole plate up with greens. The reasons are twofold. One, a lot of vegetables are like very high volume, and if you're like me, and if you're like a lot of other guys, you've been raised to eat a lot of food, like comical amounts of food. Like you have food babies every day, like your bathroom's just a regular abortion clinic with all the food babies that you're dumping out there. So yeah, get a bunch of greens. Um, if you get some cauliflower, you get some broccoli. Yes, I know cauliflower's not green, but if you get like some spinach, red lettuce or purple lettuce or whatever, you can like take all of those, mix it with a protein, and get something like the Joseph's Lavash wrap, which is like huge. It's like this big, 120 calories for that thing. Throw some ranch dressing on there and put some hot sauce on there, and then you can like eat a lot of food. And it tastes like you're eating buffalo, whatever it is. Like you can do tofu on there. You can do chicken. You can do some sort of high quality beef. Just very high quality proteins in there. Guess you could do Beyond, or Dollar Store sells a veggie burger that doesn't have any soy. I think it has a little seed oil in it though. But anyways, yeah, just put that on there, mix it with the yogurt ranch and the hot sauce, and I promise you, it's going to feel like you're eating a buffalo wrap. And if you steam it, or if you pan fry it, or you throw all that into an air fryer, it feels like you've really gotten away with murder. This all also really works out because, like, with this recipe, you're eating maybe 2 or 3 times a day. So you can like eat 1,000, 1,200 calories of this. Maybe if you're going from a higher weight, you can even eat 1,500 calories, and like you'll feel like you just ate at like the Golden Corral. Like that's how good you're gonna feel. Like you ate at the Golden Corral. So yeah, So another little bit of advice that I did was I had to stop snacking. Like the only snacks that I really eat a lot of are like apples, oranges, pineapples, mixed with some trecha sauce or trecha powder or some tahine powder. Like really good stuff. It tastes like I'm eating candy and then I'm getting away with it. Like if you haven't noticed, the one thing I want you to take away from this part is that you'll want to feel like you're getting away with something. And another thing that I'm going to say that might be hard for some of you, going to give you a little black pill here, is that you're not going to want a lot of pasta, rice, or bread unless you're just like having a very special hearty meal with like friends and family. So you're going to want to find alternatives to all this stuff. One thing that I really like to do is I have a food processor. So I shred my rice, my cauliflower to make cauliflower rice. I shred carrots to make carrot rice. I have a noodle maker, so I can make butternut squash noodles and other things like that. You can also look up something called shirataki noodles. You might have to order them, but because there's some in stores, but they're like really heavy in soy. So yeah, like you can get the ones with soy, but just I guess watch out for how much soy you're consuming. This wouldn't hurt anyone. So also regulate your sauces. Sauces can add a lot, can like make a healthy meal pretty unhealthy. As far as sauces that really helped me out in the beginning, I had like cheese on everything, so I switched that cheese out for salsa con queso sauce, which you're saying, hey, that sounds really decadent. Well, that's the point, genius. You want something that feels really decadent. So you're going to get that salsa con queso, and you're just going to make a layer on that Joseph Lavash wrap, and it's going to feel like you're eating cheese, and you're going to get like, what are they? The veggie fries, and it's going to feel like you're getting a crunch, but eventually you're going to move on from that. Another thing I like to do is I like to have some sweet chili sauce on some of my food. That's pretty low calorie and it tastes pretty good. It really makes my sweet tooth feel good, as well as the previously mentioned yogurt ranch hot sauce in buffalo. All right, so you're gonna want to learn spices too. Just like go get a bunch of spices that are like $1 each and learn how to use them. With those spices, you're gonna learn how to cook, and then you're gonna meet someone really nice. Maybe that's the reason why you clicked on that, is you want to meet someone nice. So I promise you, you're gonna work on yourself. You're gonna get those spices, and you're gonna learn how to cook, and you're gonna find that person, and they're really gonna love you. Also, get Goya seasoning powder. Now, you might be one of those dead enders who really believes in consumer activism and the power of brands to change the world. And so I realize that. I see you, I hear you, and you're really valid. So you can switch this out for the store brand or something, but mine's just going to be Goya. Sorry. And like I previously said, you can try like a salad wrap or just a straight up salad. Just make that thing huge, fill it with the kale, the spinach, and the broccoli, and it's going to be amazing, I promise. Like basically, you make the wrap, you fill it up, you eat the salad on top, and then you wrap it up, and then you shove that in your mouth. You shove it in there, and it's going to feel like you can't eat anymore, but you're just going to keep eating, okay? How's that for a nutrition plan? A nutrition plan that wants you to eat. And this is such an allotment of good food that I did all of this in the backdrop of my brother's wedding family gatherings, Thanksgiving, as well as just celebrating people's birthdays and just special events in general. So I had a lot of cheat meals, way more cheat meals than any other diet, in fact, even when I was doing this in my early 20s. I also had um, a pint of ice cream, or even two sometimes, every week as well. So basically, all I'm saying is that you can live, you can still drink, you can still have ice cream and stuff, and like pizza and tacos and nachos and all that good stuff. Just you can make it work within intermittent fasting, and you'll find ways to alter your feeding and fasting windows to such a way that you'll be able to straight up just accommodate all this stuff, and you'll be able to enjoy it even more, in fact, because you won't feel like you did something stupid and that you're messing up your diet, because your diet wasn't perfect to begin with, didn't need to be perfect. It's like it's like the deadlift. You're probably not going to get a perfect deadlift every time, and that's okay, as long as you're not messing up your back, and as long as that bar is getting off the ground, because there's going to be cynics out there who are going to tell you your deadlift's not right, it's not an actual deadlift. But a lot of those guys can't even deadlift like the bar, so there you go. I can deadlift the bar. So anyways, speaking of, that's a good transition. Let's talk about fitness. So the main thing that I want to get in here is that you don't need to kill yourself to lose weight. Technically, if you killed yourself, you would lose a lot of weight because you would eventually wither away, but I don't recommend that. It'd be a really sad way to lose weight. So what I did was I started out with a ton of running, like tons and tons and tons of running. This was before and during when I started intermittent fasting. But yeah, the weight just wasn't coming off. And there's actually a scientific reason for that. With running, your body just freaks out and starts to starts to hold on to the fat it has. It goes into like a freak out mode if you run too much. So what I did instead was I walked on a treadmill, and I put that treadmill at a high incline and kept it as walking, so that I had one foot on the treadmill and the whole time, one foot, then another foot, one foot, another foot. That's how you walk. You're welcome. And so I did that. So you can also do an elliptical or a bike, just something that's lower intensity. And I did this for 30 to 60 minutes a pop, with 3 times a week at that high incline, which would burn anywhere from 400 to 1,000 calories. Now you might be saying, well, hey, LT, that sounds boring as hell. I agree with you. It is really boring. So what I did was I bought a tablet and I started to read things. I started to read articles. I started to play video games, and I started to read comics. Like, I would read the weekly version of One Piece while I was walking. That was a few minutes of it. I read through parts 7 and 8 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That was really fun. And I also had a cool little workflow where basically I have an RSS feed. I use something called Print Friendly and PDF to convert websites into PDFs. And I have a little stylus pen, so I would highlight notes as I was walking from the articles and then write about the articles. And the thing I used to highlight was Squid PDF. So I actually got a lot more well read through this too. As far as games go, I was playing Nintendo Switch. Now, with the Switch, you can't move as fast as you would with the treadmill. I mean, with reading. So, you're definitely going to want to make sure that if you're doing that, you're going at like maybe half a mile to a mile slower, so that way you can walk and play the games. You're also not going to really be able to play many action games. Like, you can play a puzzle game or like a turn-based RPG, but you're not going to be playing something like Devil May Cry 3 on there, or like something like that. I also lifted weights about 2 to 3 times a week. Just go to the gym, lift weights. You can message me if you need any more information about the weights or anything like that. But more or less, what I'm describing is a lot simpler than what you might see for something that someone might be really into, like say the Brad Pitt Fight Club routine, or one of those Instagram influencers. I can't name any, but like the bikini body workout people. Like, all of those people are either one of two things. They either have like a ton of staff that are doing their nutrition, planning their days, managing their life like as a project with their personal life, as well as cooking all their meals and getting them from place to place, or they are just genetically gifted, or perhaps 19 years old. Like, a lot of people when they're around that age don't have a lot of responsibility, and a lot of things just work really easy for them. But yeah, like those sayings that like X celebrity has 24 hours in a day, so do you. What's your excuse? Well, my excuse is that if I were to take a shit right here, I wouldn't have someone to clean it up, and so 24 hours for me isn't 24 hours for them because I'm cleaning up shit. But the stuff here, it's not really that hard. It's just keeping to it. Like, if you can keep walking, if you can keep reading comic books, if you can keep eating buffalo chicken salad wraps, and like not eat after 8 o'clock and then eat at 8 o'clock, I think you have a pretty good chance. Like, I love you and I believe in you, okay? So I'm saying it's not really that hard, but it's a lot of perseverance. So yeah, that's about it. That's how I lost like 40 pounds in the span of a year. It was easy. It wasn't easy, but it was over a pretty long period of time. I eased into it, and I just troubleshot and figured out what works. Because one thing that I really learned as far as my theory for how this works is that the body's weight is kind of like the temperature of a building. Keeping the temperature of a building is a little more complex than you might seem. Like, you have all sorts of inputs. Like, the air's going in, cold water is cooling this like high-rise building. Hot water is coming in to make everything hot. It has hot coils that are changing the temperature. And you're kind of like the building engineer, and you have to figure out what the right combination is to be able to keep that building at a certain set point. The set point in this metaphor being the temperature, and for you being your weight. And so for different people, it's going to go change a little differently. Like for some people, it's going to be like your natural metabolism is just going to change it. Your age is just going to change it. Your sex is just going to alter these conditions. So you've got to figure it out. Your body is like a lab. So if you can figure out how to manipulate those things in the lab, you're going to be able to keep a set point, a weight set point that's really healthy for you, keeps you happy, keeps you mobile, keeps you feeling good, helps you see your grandchildren, helps you like go throughout your day, maybe even help you run. And I could keep going on this forever, but that's about what I did. Thanks for watching this video, and best of luck to you. Later.